Today we are going to explore stage 9, which is the stage of the infinite ocean. Now here we will deviate completely from the material plane, and we will enter a purely spiritual one. And it's an absolutely fascinating stage, but it requires us to have an open mind, an open heart, to be able to absorb what we learn and put it to practice. So before we get going onto the details, let me give you a quick recap of the 10 stages. I believe Tosin has already done that, but so the first stage, and there's videos for each stage for those who are attending for the first time, but the first stage is the marketplace. And this is the world where we belong in, thousands of events occurring, lots of noise, lots of activity, and our focus is all over the place. That's the marketplace. Beautiful world, much to learn from, but very chaotic. And it's governed by time and space, obviously. And from the first stage, we go to the second stage, which is the dripping tap, which is where we narrow our focus down from the thousands of events of the marketplace down to that one event of water dripping in a bucket. Then we go to the third stage, which is the stage of the grandfather clock. And this grandfather clock is again singular focus because it's ticking with that same precision. But we have gone from the seen to the unseen, because you can see a droplet, you can see a bucket, you cannot see the time that is represented by the grandfather clock. And then we go to the fourth stage, which is the children in the playground. And this is where, it's a stage of innocence. It's a stage of rebirth, a new chapter in the journey of the soul where a river is born and it starts to flow. And then you have the fifth stage, which is the waterfall, because the river has grown. Many other rivers have merged into it, and it is now going through the waterfall, which is a stage of abundance of purity. It's a stage of abundance of purity. Immense growth has occurred in the soul by this stage. Stage 6 is the stage of the monks chanting in a temple, where the temple is the body. The chanting of the monks is the inner voice that is being heard for the first time. Stage 6 is the stage where enlightenment is achieved. And I have explained the difference between enlightenment and ultimate union, which is what we're going to go forward towards now. And then there's stage 7, which is symbolized by the beach with the ocean, coming to the beach seashore, and the rustling palm trees, extremely beautiful. That is a stage of paradise. And so there is the river. Having reached the stage of paradise, it can see the ocean before it, but it hasn't yet ventured to merge. Then we get to the 8th stage, which is the stage of the orchestra, which has a whole range of instruments, musicians, many symbols about this stage. And this is the stage of complete harmony. It's a stage where the orchestra plays the most perfect music, which you cannot encounter in this world. And we've gone through 4 master classes on stage 8 because that is how important stage 8 is. But by this point, the river is now trying to merge into the ocean. And we have gone through that whole process in stage 8, part 1 and 2. And stage 8, part 3 and 4, we went into more detail into how we can eliminate different types of conflict from our lives. And now we are at stage 9 today, which is the infinite ocean. And when I wrote about it and when I experienced it, it was symbolic of hearing the sounds that come at the bottom of the ocean. Very gentle, but very profound, very powerful. Stage 10 is where we hear the sounds of the dolphins, who are the inner voice of totality. They are like the monks who are in the temple. Dolphins are the inner voice of totality. And in subsequent master classes, we're going to try and understand what is it about them and what is the inner voice of totality. And so Then beyond the 10 stages is the door to light at the end of the 66 steps. And from there, union is achieved. So we are now at the final stages of the 10 stages of the soul. Now, stages 1 to 8 all had material symbolisms we could identify in our material world. But stage 9 has only got one, and it is just the infinite ocean. There's nothing about this ocean that we can physically identify with except for water. Water which started as the droplet in stage 2, the river in stage 4, the waterfall in stage 5, and then the river merging into the ocean in stage 8, and now we are with the infinite ocean in stage 9. So the only real common element is water. So stage 9 is symbolized by infinite water, the essence of life. It is the ocean of life. It is the ever living. It is the source of all creation. Therefore, as we learn about stages 9 and 10, we will have to recognize that we are venturing into the purely, deeply spiritual realm. And it's fascinating. So I would like to start by underscoring, as I said earlier, that we had 4 masterclasses on stage 8. That is the level of importance of harmony and absence of conflict, and the most difficult stage where the river merges into the ocean. It's the most difficult of the 10 stages. When you get to 9 and 10, you've crossed the most difficult path. So in stage 8, the soul is the river and attempts to merge into its source. But because this is a difficult process, why? Because there is a barrier that separates the river from the ocean. Now we discussed this process of merging in much depth in part 2 of stage 8. And we have a video on part 2 of stage 8, which I would highly recommend you watch on our YouTube channel or on our website. Now let us look at spiritually what happens when the river attempts to merge into the ocean. What occurs? Number 1, the ocean is the infinite source of the soul. It is extremely powerful. The ocean is a state of pure equilibrium and harmony. Now the river, when it enters into the ocean, does not have that equilibrium and harmony. It has a lower level of harmony due to the presence of conflict. So here, the weaker force is seeking to merge into the almighty force. Hence, there is resistance, which is what we call the barrier. The scriptures say that the Creator has made the earth firm to live in, made rivers in its midst, and made a separating bar between 2 bodies of flowing water. The separating bar is in essence the barrier that we're talking about. The scriptures also say that this separating bar cannot be transgressed except by the will of the Creator. And herein lies the disclosure of a beautiful mystical opportunity, because it points to the possibility that the separating bar can be crossed by the grace of the Creator. So this is a powerful possibility that we can all seek to strive towards. As the harmony of the soul increases, it is able to flow further into the ocean. When pure harmony is reached with 0 conflict, the barrier disappears and the river merges completely into the ocean. And when this has occurred, the soul is at stage 9. It is now no longer the river. While it was merging, it was in a state of duality, the river and the ocean. Now it is the source itself. It has become the source itself. In stage 6, the stage of the monks, chanting in the temple symbolized the body. The chanting of the monks symbolized the inner voice that it was hearing for the first time. The body had a form. It was in duality, like the river. Now in stage 9, the form is gone. There is no body, there is no river. It is now the ocean infinite. It is now in totality. And so I invited our dear friends, Angel, Cyrus, and Luminous, to help us understand stage 9 deeper. And in today's masterclass, we're going to cover one core aspect of stage 9, but there are several. And because they are so important and so deep, I would like to be able to just tackle them in separate classes rather than try and jam in everything into one. So Cyrus and Luminous join us, and I ask them, can you describe to us some of the attributes of souls that are at stage 9? Tell us about them. So Cyrus replies, he said, stage 9 is a truly exalted level that the soul has attained. Souls that have reached this level operate very differently while living in the material world, because they are like rays of the sun that bring you light while still being fully immersed in the sun. They are disconnected from the chaos and whirlwind illusions of the world. They are now observers of life in the material world, observers of life. We are all living life. They are observers of life. Their third eye is the one that prevails during their journey in the world, because their eyes are that of the ocean infinite, so they view everything through the third eye. They see far beyond what human beings encaged by their minds can see, Cyrus says. They are in the world as a blessing for the rest of creation. They are the ones that help maintain and restore balance in the world. When the darkness gets too intense, they bring light. When human mass consciousness gets too negative, like it is today in our world, they help make it shift towards the positive. They inspire this change through all their fellow creation. They are able to inspire the rest of humanity towards what is in harmony with the planet, with nature, and the codes of the scriptures. Codes of the scriptures we've talked about extensively in stage 8. So you can think of them as the hidden forces of balance living within your midst, Cyrus says. So Luminous adds, let us try to visualize stage 9 at a preliminary level at least, because you can never ever imagine stage 9, but he wants to help us try and just visualize it to start with, so that as we meditate and go forward, we experience it for ourselves in whatever form it inspires us, whatever form it appears to us in. So Luminous says, I want you to take a moment and just sit back and be completely relaxed, he says. He says, now imagine what it is like to have no physical form. Imagine what it is like to have no physical form. You exist, but you are not connected to anything physical. So you are there, but you are not connected to anything physical. There is no duality. There is just you, the one you. You are immersed in the ocean infinite. Your vision is endless. Your mind at this stage is totally illuminated, so you see light in everything, endlessly, for you are that light. Your human eyes are gone. You are now viewing everything through your intellect and the third eye. Wow. I said, let me repeat what you just said, because it's deep. Let me repeat that one more time. So Luminous says, imagine what it is like to have no physical form. You exist, but are not connected to anything physical. There is no duality. There is just you, the one you. You are immersed in the ocean infinite. Your vision is endless. Your mind at this stage is totally illuminated, full of light. That because you are that light. Your human eyes are gone. You are now viewing everything through your intellect and the third eye, beyond. The activities of this world now appear so insignificant to you, so temporary, because you see the infinite, the limitless, where the future doesn't exist, where the past doesn't exist. And Luminous said, you see lifetimes of all beings just as a tiny blip, so short, so temporary. You see the droplet in its momentary existence in this world. And you know that the droplet is eternal, and it will let go of its form at the end of this little blip and continue eternally. You also see the human mind taking control of everything. Even though it is supposed to be governed by the droplet, it does so by showing the droplet so many illusions that its very existence comes into question. The droplet doubts its own existence, or worse still, it gets forgotten because the mind has shut the droplet out, the soul out. The slave now rules its master. That's what you see when you're looking at your humanity. This is evident in so many who have completely forgotten their soul. They continue under the illusionary journey that the mind shows them, while the soul keeps sending them inspirations through their inner voice, which they drown by the noise of their very loud thoughts and desires. When the blip is about to end, they realize that their journey was a deception of illusions. Deception of illusions. They realize their soul, the droplet, and also recognize why they were here in this world. Some rejoice what they have accomplished, while others seek another chance. So the being of stage 9 sees all this and tries to inspire other beings to recognize their soul, their true self, and live a life of balance. Encourage people to search and recognize their own true self, recognize the true reality. And so they live a life of balance, help people live a life of balance between the spiritual and the material. Beings of stage 9 are physical manifestations of the ocean infinite. They are, like Cyrus said, the rays of the sun that bring light to all creation while being fully immersed in the sun. They are people that you may or may not know. They may have been with you and evolved to higher stages and reach stage 9 while living next to you in this world, and you may never know. So that is how beings that have reached stage 9 exist amongst you. So how can we recognize their presence? I asked Cyrus. How can we recognize the inspirations and the guidance that they provide? Guidance that is indeed coming from the Creator. Cyrus said, in stage 8, you touched upon boundless love. That is what stage 9 is, the infinite ocean, the source of all creation, the eternal light. It is the ocean of boundless love. He looks at me and says, why don't you explain what boundless love is? And I responded, it is a unique type of love, which is very different to the love we feel towards our fellow beings. This love is deep, pure, and it flows through our being in a powerful way. It is part of our life energy that emanates from the soul. But we only become aware of it when we open ourselves to it, or when we are blessed with experiences of it by the Creator. We can feel it in every cell in our being. It can be overwhelming. This love grows naturally within us as we strive to connect with it. We can feel it in our meditation. We can feel it in our simple material activities. It is there. We may experience it in short bursts or in constant waves. When we experience this love, know that it is the Creator showing us His love. We are getting a taste of it so that we can strive for more by knowing that what we are looking for is real. We simply have to be open and embrace this love and strive to make it grow further. My dear friends, when you experience this love, let us not try to analyze it because it is beyond human comprehension. Just embrace it with gratitude and let it flow and go with it. Let it see what it shows you. Sometimes when we are in the presence of enlightened beings or are in sacred places, we feel this love. It makes us extremely happy, and our natural emotion is to cry. I'm sure most of us have experienced this at some point or another in our lives. If we create a mindset where we consciously seek this love, it comes without any plan or timing. You could be sitting in a garden and feel its waves. You could be with your family and loved ones and feel its waves. There's no geography or event that brings this love. It is your sincere dedication towards this love that opens you to it. So I shared this example with you in stage 8, and I'll now repeat it here, but again, now we will go further with it. And this is when I was in Istanbul a few years ago. And after dinner, we were having a walk beyond Taksim Square. We were walking in this one area where there were thousands of people, walking on these cobblestone streets, and there's, cafes, restaurants on two sides. I was on a slightly higher part of the hill, and I'm looking at these people, and they're coming in huge numbers. And all of a sudden, this love was present. And I could feel this love just gushing through my being, going to these people. These people all became one. I was in that state of pure love. And of course, it was so overwhelming that I just excused myself and went to one side of the road and simply cried. It was so powerful. But it was profound. It was deep. It was enriching. So when this love comes to you or comes through you, and when you experience it, it reveals much to you. What did this love reveal to us? Number one, it reveals an absolute unity. As I was standing there looking at everybody, all those souls became one. Just powerful love. It demonstrates absolute unity, where every soul comes back together as one. You see all these thousands of people walking, you're materialized to. But you are engulfed in this boundless love. You see them all as one love. And you realized how blessed each one of them is to be part of this boundless love. It is all theirs to experience and live with and grow with and flourish with. Some do and some don't. But it is there for all creation. During this beautiful experience, you become the boundless love. It flows within you and through everything else. This love shows you the true beauty of unity. Unity is not just a word. When viewed from stage 9, unity is the truth, the absolute truth, for which the great soul Mansur al-Hallaj lost his life. When he proclaimed, "I am the truth," he had become unity. He had recognized that. He was so overcome, he proclaimed it. And the people of those times didn't understand what he was saying, and they executed him for blasphemy. So, my dear friends, unity is the absolute truth. We also refer to this unity as the oneness. Same thing, unity, oneness. The ocean infinite is one. The boundless love is one. That is unity. The other aspect this love reveals to us is that of flow. A beautiful aspect. The love flows like water flows. If you, as a droplet, imagine yourself immersed in a river and experience its flow, you will feel its power. It is an unstoppable power. It is not like the power that we know in the material world, power that comes with control. No, on the contrary, this flow is based on total surrender to the source, the ocean. This flow is not guided by anyone. It simply follows the will of the Creator. This is the flow of the love we are talking about. This is what we should all be striving to achieve. We as humanity block out the beauties of flow that reside within us. We want to control. We want to direct. We cannot fathom the idea of surrender because it is unfamiliar territory. We are scared to surrender. And we miss out on such a great power that resides within us. When we experience the boundless love, we experience its flow. The two come together. It's pure fluidity. It's absolutely beautiful. So whenever you feel this love, even a hint of it, surrender to it. Let go of your control. Let go of your ego. Surrender to it. And it will take you towards the most beautiful of realizations. And it is my prayer that you experience that. There's so much that the experience of boundless love brings that cannot be verbalized. It has to be experienced, and we have to strive for it. We have to work for it. We have to be even mentally, emotionally, spiritually driven towards it. I've only shared with you the experiences of the lessons and opportunities that are embedded in this love for you to extract if you wish. There's so much more that you have to discover. In that same vein, the third aspect that this love shows us is of a highly motivating nature. It shows us that once you've had a taste of it, you will strive for more, lots more. So it's a powerful motivator for us on that spiritual path. So the key message here is for us to build upon the connection with this love. Surrender to it, let it flow. Now let us explore how we can do this. What is our major challenge as we seek to build our connection with this love? I would say our major challenge is our material mind. And our immersion in our crises, events, desires, and illusions, this is our major challenge. They consume our focus. They close us up. Hence, if you make this love a priority in your life, above all material priorities, your mind will become helpless. It will no longer be able to close you out from it. I've so often heard people ask, how can I love something that I cannot see, feel, or touch? What is it that I am supposed to love? It's a fair question. Let us address this question a bit further. What am I supposed to love? Love has no physical form. It expresses itself through us. It has no physical form. It expresses itself through us. And we are all familiar with the human level love. For example, you love your spouse. You can see him or her, and it all adds up. But what you love in your spouse is independent of his or her physical form. When your spouse passes on, you do not stop loving him or her. Do you? The answer is no. You always keep loving, but they are not physically there. The love is still there. So while you think love is based upon the physical form we see, it is not. Love is absolutely abstract. If you're looking for love, you have to start by looking in the right place. Here are a few points about love that can be helpful. 1, that love is not visible. 2, it expresses itself in varying forms. 3, it lives with us long after the physical form is gone. It's eternal. Love is eternal. These are the 4 key points to remember about love. It is not visible. It expresses itself in varying forms. It lives with us long after the physical form is gone because it is eternal. So we have to consider love in the same way as we consider our soul or a source of life energy. The boundless love we are looking for is an integral part of our life energy. Both life energy and love are not visible, but we see and know their outward expressions. When we are alive, we move, we communicate, we do things. That is an outer expression of life energy as we know it. We all accept it, even though we can't see it. Likewise, when we feel love, we know it is there. We see it expressed through beauty, art, actions of people, and more. We see it. We need no evidence of that. We know it exists with certainty. When life energy leaves, we die, clear as daylight. When love is gone, its void is very deep, and it is felt through a myriad of emotions, and that's also a known fact. The good news is love comes back. It can come back. It does come back. In another form, another relationship, another situation, whatever that form is not so important, but it does come back if you seek it, if you strive to draw it to you. And we will discuss how in a few moments. A great soul once said, and I paraphrase, one way to find God is to love another human being deeply. One way to find God is to love another human being deeply. Here, God and the soul and life energy, they are all embodied into one. The great soul advises us to love our fellow human beings, our fellow creation for that matter. It would be an interesting exercise to make a list. You can take, after this webinar, make a list of how many people or pets or parts of nature you really love deeply. And I mean deeply. The number is likely going to be quite small for most of us. But we have a starting point, which is to understand how to recognize love and to feel it. We can start with our small circle that we already have made a list of, and then let it grow from there. The next question is, can you love all the people around you? Most will say no. I would suggest that it is definitely possible. It can be achieved through our mindset. And what do I mean by that? Now, on many occasions, I've talked about anchor thought. And there's also a audio recording, I think it's a 7-minute recording on how to use anchor thought. What is anchor thought? So anchor thought is anchoring your state of being in a given powerful thought. So if I ask you, how are you? And you say, I'm fine. That's the most useless thing you could ever say because it's meaningless. But if you are anchored in happiness and I ask you, how are you? You're going, I'm happy. Or I am abundance. Or I am love. Your state of being, you anchor that with your power of thought. And if you use your anchor thought to anchor yourself in love, for example, because we're talking about how we access this love, anchor yourself in love and make it your conscious state of being, you will begin to attract this love. It is there within and around you. So anchoring into it creates a vibration in your being that reaches the same vibration level of the love. And when this happens, you are connected to it. If you practice anchor thought consciously, with the deep desire to receive the boundless love, you will begin to experience it. In nature, plants, flowers, people, it's absolutely beautiful. Once you engage with it, you can also experience its overwhelming expressions too, like I did in Istanbul. When you practice anchor thought, what do you do? And we will do a short, I'll include this anchor thought in our meditation tonight, before, very shortly we will have that. But when you practice anchor thought, you anchor yourself in love first with the words, anchor, love, anchor, love, anchor, love. You keep repeating those words. And then the next thing you say is, I am love. I am love. I am love. So that's one way to anchor love. And then through your day, you're remembering, I am love. Even when you forget, you remind yourself you're back into I am love because you're anchored in love. A bit later in the day, you can also then anchor yourself in flow. And with the words, anchor, flow. Anchor, flow. Anchor, flow. And then, after repeating that a few times and anchoring yourself in flow, you repeat, I am flow. I am flow. I am flow. And through the day you can alternate between love and flow. But remember, it has to be a deep-rooted pursuit, and this is one way to achieve it, by anchoring yourself in it. The pursuit of boundless love. And in this process, you will be surprised to discover how many new people come into your life to bring you love, because now you're anchored in it. You're changing your entire surrounding and circumstance. Your existing relationships will start to flourish beyond what you had imagined, because you're now an instrument of this love. It is flowing. It is emanating from you and flowing everywhere. You will no longer be lonely. You will never remember what it's like to be lonely, because the love will be with you always. You may ask, is it possible to achieve this? I would say absolutely yes. You just have to be committed to it. So meditation is another way of drawing the boundless love into your being. Why is it so? When we meditate, and I've shared this technique with all of you numerous times, we go completely still. And once we reach that level of stillness, we go completely silent. And then we engage with oneness. Now, you can refresh your skills on meditation by practicing the guided meditations on our YouTube channel. There's one called Attaining Pure Focus, which offers the full technique. Practice it. It's really worthwhile. So in that meditation, once you reach the level of oneness, your vibrations are now at the same level as the boundless love. When you repeat the word oneness, unite your being with all creation. As you repeat that word, you unite your being with all creation. Unite with this love, and then most importantly, surrender to it, so that you can become part of its flow. When you surrender to it, you become part of its flow. Therefore, the level of oneness in meditation is the perfect place to open the door to boundless love. So once you surrender yourself to the oneness and let go of all your ego and control and everything that you believe you are, let it all go. By repeating the word surrender in slow rhythm, surrender, surrender, in that slow rhythm, surrendering to the oneness and to the boundless love, commences the flow of this love. It begins from there. So meditation is the second approach to connecting with this love. The third way is through contemplation. You can start, if you want to see how best to contemplate, you can start by first emptying all the thoughts from your mind. And how do we do this? By using the bird cage technique that I have shared with you so many times, where you get to that level of pure silence, you're in this beautiful surrounding in the mountains, and then you see this tree stump on which there is a golden cage in which there's lots of colorful birds chirping around noisily, chaotic. And the cage is your mind, and the birds are your thoughts, and then you open the cage and you let these birds, noisy birds, fly away into the horizon, chirping away. until the cage is completely empty. And then you cleanse the cage. You repeat the word cleanse, and your mind is completely empty. That's the perfect way to prepare yourself for contemplation. We will practice that too in a few minutes. So then, next, with a clean and an empty mind, you begin your contemplation by focusing on the word love. Contemplate love. Ask love to teach you about itself. Love is a great teacher. Ask love in your contemplation to teach you, and it will. You will begin to be inspired with deeper thoughts. Follow them with deeper introspection. You will start to trigger new events that reveal love. Be mindful of them and draw from them. And for that, you have to be self-aware and mindful. You will also start to draw people who will show you love through their words, actions, and more. You will feel it in your heart. You will feel that love in your heart. And this brings me to the final key message on boundless love, which is the heart. Love is experienced through the heart, not the mind or the brain. When you consciously focus on love and trace where it is flowing from, you will find it is from the heart. It is from here, middle of your chest. Is it the heart, the organ? No. It is the field of flow. This is the field of flow where the heart is. And we learned about alignment of the 6 fields. And we aligned the field of flow, which is the 4th field. Just to refresh your memory, and again we have the videos on it too, but just to refresh your memory, the first field in the body is the light field, which starts from the universe and connects with the center of your forehead in the form of a pyramid. So the first field is the light field. The second, and it goes from the hollows of your body. The second, between the hollow in your forehead to the hollow in your chin, is a sensory field. All your senses are in this field. The third field is the air, field of air. All the gases that flow in your body, what you take in, what you give out, is in the field of air, which is bottom of your chin to the hollow in your collarbone. Then the 4th is from the collarbone to the solar plexus. That is the field of flow, which governs the flow of all fluids in your body. That's where your heart is located. But that field of flow is where love flows. It's a powerful field. You have to work to open it. Then there is the next field is the cleansing field, which starts from the field of flow and goes just above the genital area with the hollow. So that is the cleansing field where all our organs of cleansing are, including cleansing emotions, including cleansing toxins. And then the last one is from the cleansing field to the earth, right between your 2 feet. And that is the earth field that grounds your body to the earth. So we learned about how to align them. And there's a video entitled The Azurone Technique on our YouTube channel, which explains the 6 fields in detail. I would urge you to watch that again. It's been almost over a year since we discussed this. And there are a number of videos on our channel, YouTube channel, on practical alignments. Find the time, practice them, and align yourself. And when you align the 4th field, the field of flow, you can open yourself to that boundless love. It's beautiful. Remember, I mentioned earlier that love has a flow of its own. Here it is in this field, in the center of your chest, in your solar plexus. This is why when you experience love as a feeling, it flows from the heart to your mind and the rest of your body. So to discover love, keep your heart open. Keep your field of flow open to love. Align this field daily. Bring it light and peace to it by the technique I have shared in the videos. And we will practice this together in the next practical meditation session that we have in a week's time. And I'll also record it on video for individual practice purposes, just the alignment of the field of flow. Because this is very, very empowering. Now we have found 3 ways of opening ourselves to the boundless love. Boundless love that is part of life energy, boundless love that is the infinite ocean of stage 9. This is something so worth seeking and pursuing. So Cyrus said, "It is our sincere prayer that you may all be able to experience this boundless love, regardless of what stage you may be as a soul. It will enlighten your life and it will help you ascend up the journey. Once you find it, remain connected to it. Don't let life cause you to lose connection with it, this most precious aspect of your soul, the boundless love." So this brings us to the practical meditation time. Now, stage 9, we have covered boundless love. There are also a couple of other very profound aspects of stage 9, which I will cover in the next masterclass. Hopefully, we'll be able to wrap them all up in one class. So in today's practical meditation, we're going to incorporate 3 techniques all in one. First is clearing the mind of all thoughts, and we will go through with the bird cage and let our thoughts fly out and into the horizon. Second, we will anchor ourselves, anchor our being in love and flow. And then third, we will flow into the boundless love in the oneness. So these are the 3 techniques we're going to practice today. Now to help you, I will release this meditation in a separate video rather than the explanation I just gave you, so that if you want to practice it on its own, you don't have to wait to go through the whole lecture. You can go straight to it. And then we might even break that into smaller videos of just emptying the bird cage, just anchoring, and getting to oneness. So let's sit back, relax your mind, and close your eyes. And breathe freely. Let go of all your tensions, worries, emotions. Let them all out of your body. Be completely relaxed. Be at complete peace. Breathe in peace. Fill your being with peace. I'd like you to imagine you're standing on top of a tall mountain. The morning sun is shining. It is a beautiful day. There's green grass everywhere. The dewdrops are sparkling in the sunlight on the grass. There's snow-peaked, snow-capped mountains all around you, which you can see in the distance. There's trees, birds, flowers. Nature is absolutely vibrant, absolutely beautiful. And you're standing in front of this crystal clear lake of water that is also sparkling in the morning sun. Take a moment and connect with nature. Connect with this beautiful, beautiful setting. And you now decide to walk towards the lake. And as you get to the shore, on your right-hand side you see a tree stump that is to the height of your waist. And on this tree stump is a golden cage, big golden cage. And in this cage there are hundreds of little birds, tiny little colorful birds, beautiful birds, chirping away, flying around the cage in pure chaos. Very noisy. The cage is your mind. The birds are your thoughts. And it is time to let them go. So you open the cage door and let them fly out. Far away they fly into the horizon, chirping away till they disappear. As you repeat the words, release and empty, release and empty, release and empty. Keep repeating these words as your cage begins to empty out and the birds keep flying away. Release and empty. Release and empty. The cage is now completely empty. Your thoughts are all gone. You are in pure silence. You wish your mind to be cleansed. You wish the empty cage to be cleansed as you repeat the word cleanse, cleanse, cleanse. Keep repeating this word for a few moments. Cleanse, cleanse, cleanse. Your mind is empty, your mind is cleansed. And you now walk into the lake until the water reaches your knees and you stop. And you look at your knees and you see the water in tiny little ripples and waves. But you would like the water to go completely still. So you repeat the word stillness, stillness, stillness. Keep repeating this word as the water goes completely still. Stillness. Stillness. The water is now completely still. So still that you can see your reflection in it as if it were a mirror. You can see the reflection of the blue sky and the sun in the water. The whole lake in front of you is completely still, like a mirror. You are completely still. You are in pure stillness. And you now repeat the word silence, silence, silence. Keep repeating this word as you go completely silent from within and from around you. Silence. Silence. And you now wish to anchor your thoughts in love and flow. And you start by repeating the word anchor love. Anchor love. Anchor love. Keep repeating these words as you anchor yourself, your being, in love. Anchor love. Anchor love. And you now repeat the words, I am love. I am love. I am love. Keep repeating these words as love becomes your state of being. I am love. I am love. And should you wish to anchor into flow, you start by repeating the words anchor, flow, anchor, flow, anchor, flow. Keep repeating these words as you anchor yourself in the flow of love. Anchor, flow. Anchor, flow. And then you repeat the words, I am, flow. I am, flow. I am, flow. You are now anchored in love and you are anchored in flow. And this is what you practice when you practice your anchor thought. You can anchor yourself in whatever state of being you choose. We are all anchored in love and anchored in flow. And now you keep walking further into the lake until the water reaches your waist. And in front of you, you see hundreds of little floating candles on the lake. Beautiful little candles giving off a bright, warm, loving light. And these candles all begin to merge into one another. They all begin to come together until they become in front of you one candle with one bright, warm, loving light. This is the light of oneness. As you repeat the words, oneness, oneness, oneness. Keep repeating this word oneness as you unite completely with all creation. Unite with the Creator. Oneness. Oneness. And in the presence of this light of oneness, you now repeat the word surrender. 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 As you let go of all your control, all your ego, everything, just repeat the word surrender. Surrender. You are in pure oneness. You are fully surrendered to oneness. And you now repeat the word love. 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 As love flows from the oneness through your being, filling every element of your being, flowing from you back into the oneness. You are part of now a closed circle of love as you repeat love, love, love. Keep repeating this word. Love, love. And in the light of oneness, you now repeat the word flow, flow, flow. As the love flows through you, flows through every element of your being, flows into the oneness, and back to you in a closed circle of love, you repeat the word flow, flow, flow. Keep repeating this word as you flow into the oneness with pure love. Flow. Flow, flow. You're in the oneness, completely surrendered, with love, boundless love flowing through your being. And flowing into the oneness, you are now part of the closed circle of flowing love. And in the presence of the light of the oneness, you offer gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Gratitude for all the blessings you have received and continue to receive and will receive. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. And it's time to return to the shore of the lake, so you start walking back towards the shore, repeating the word gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. And you are now back on the green grass and the sparkling dewdrops at your feet in vibrant, beautiful nature. Keep repeating the word gratitude, gratitude, gratitude for being fully anchored in love, fully anchored in its flow, completely surrendered to love. Gratitude. You may open your eyes when you wish. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you all deeply for being present today, for bringing your love, for bringing your light to today's session. I hope that we have shared some moments of pure spirituality together. There's more, lots more to come as we do stage 9, part 2. As we do the practical meditation next on stage 9, we will move from stage 8 to stage 9. So I look forward to seeing you again all very soon. Stay blessed. I pray that the light of our Creator be with you to help you, guide you, protect you, and love you always. Stay blessed.